Hey guys, Mike here from Keats WoodWorks. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my very first build job video. I'm going to show you how to make this barn door, which is a great easy build in less than 10 minutes. So check it out.
So the first step is to pull the portable bench out of the corner of the garage and clean it off, because it becomes a shelf in between jobs. And really just made it to where all I have to do is plug it in, all the saws are hot, and it is ready to go. So the next thing I did was laid out the 1x6 tongue and groove boards and just kind of tried to line them up and lay them out in some sort of pattern, figured out which board looked best against the other, match wood grains, that sort of thing, and just got them all lined up and figured out which way I wanted to go with that and numbered them actually in sequence. As I did that, I noticed that there were some saw marks in some of them, and I was just wondering, since it's a barn door, should I leave it in there for character, or should I sand it out smooth? I don't know. What do you guys think? Next step was to get the table saw cranked up and ready to go and rip down some 1x6s. You can see here just kind of what I was doing and how to do that. Yes, I do have a cheaper table saw. It was actually the first table saw I had when I got started. It is a skill saw, 3310, 10-inch I believe. This is kind of the procedure I have to go through to get that fence dialed in. But once I lock it down, it's good to go. But I will upgrade this piece in the shop eventually, but for right now it's working pretty good for me. Anyway, I ripped down the 1x6s into 1x4s, and this is what I used for the sides and the top and bottom. And so it worked out really well, kept the wood grains all looking the same, that sort of thing, instead of using different types of wood. Once I got those together, it was time to take them over to the miter box and miter saw. I had this little stop T-track that I put in my bench. I had the hardest time getting this thing to go in. Basically, I had it too tight. I just had to loosen it up and get it in place. Once I did that, I got the measurement off the blade and locked it down, and then started running the top and bottom and the middle piece, which was a 1x6, through there, and got those all the exact same length. And then, of course, I went to the side pieces, which were 84 inches in length. The doors are 36 by 84. And I realized after I made that cut right there that I didn't have the dust collector hooked up. So I had to go back over there and hook that up. But I couldn't obviously use the stop for these, so I had to use the square and mark each one individually and cut them. So then the next step was just to lay it out and just kind of, get a visual on how I was going to lay out and make sure everything stayed square and looked good and measured out right. So the next step was to join it all together. I basically used a biscuit joiner on the sides and bottoms and just kind of put those together. First tested them with a dry fit and measured it, made sure everything was legit, which it was. I was happy with that. And then it was time to glue it up. So here's just a couple frames on just showing you how I glued it up. I used my little glue bottle there, which was a brand new purchase. A little small thing, but it was, man, it's a great little tool. I saw that in several other guys' videos and thought, man, I'm going to try one of those. Really like it. Anyway, here I am gluing it up and getting it put together. Just showing you a couple different sides of the boards for this. I use these little acid flux brushes. I think they're used by welders and solders and stuff, and but they work great for this purpose. Anyway, once I did that, I clamped it all together, got it all good and tight, and let that glue dry good. While that was taking place, I paused the video here to let you see what I did and how I made these angles. Basically laid the boards down, marked it, cut it at the miter saw, and there I had it. Next was to attach those angle pieces, which I did with pocket hole joinery, as you see me doing here, and just clamped it all up and screwed it all together nice and tight and flush. Really happy with the way those angle joints came together. Really tight, nice. So it looked good. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I had numbered these in the sequence I wanted them, laid them all out there, took the frame, laid it on top, and then just measured it back and forth, got it exactly where I wanted it to be. And then it was time to make the sand. Do the part that everybody loves to do, right? Which is sanding. So here I am basically using a 3-step process. I used 120, then went to 150, and then to 220. You see my little blue lanyard there? That's my little remote control to turn on the dust collector system. What a great little device. I recommend you guys get one of those. But yeah, so you can see right here that I'm coming along that side there where those saw marks were, and basically, yeah, I did. I sanded them all down. I guess I'm just a little too anal, but did the exact same process on the frame. And you can just see the difference the way that sanding works. I mean, it's not everybody's favorite thing to do. And of course, this is just cheap white pine, but definitely makes a difference. You can see how the oxidation gets sanded off and the wood's nice and bright and white, ready, looking good for color. So once I got all that done, then it was time to attach the two things together. So what I did there was basically I just glued it and then tacked it together. So I really glued this thing. I put glue all over the place. And so I even backtracked a couple times and put some more glue because it was kind of hot that day, and it was kind of drying pretty quick. But the next step was to lay the actual door onto the frame, and I had done this by putting, you'll see in the bottom right corner of the door, a little jig, and that allowed me to square up the sides, and then I just went back and tacked it all together. Then it was just a matter of cutting off the excess, so put that up on the bench and started cutting away and got it all cleaned up and ready for color. The color I'm using here is actually a custom color based upon the customer's wishes and desires and wants, and so had Sherwin-Williams make that for me. And actually it was a really nice color, very country looking, and but actually I thought it was a little too yellow. And so after I put this on, I actually went back with just a straight up light brown type color and wanted to darken it some. Again, it was really warm in the shop, and that stuff was getting sticky really fast, so I had to put some mineral spirits on a rag and I just wipe down the excess and get it all cleaned up. And so that's what I did for that step. And then the final step was to put the poly on it, and so here I am using that HomeRite Supermax Finish Sprayer. Man, this thing does a superb job on spraying poly. It does a lot of other good things too, but man, it lays down poly very nice. So here's the back. Put 2 coats on the back, and then I put 3 coats on the front. The back just did really well, and the customer's application back wasn't really going to be as noticeable as the front. So anyway, had just to be real careful that I got down into those grooves and on those edges of the angle boards and all that sort of thing. So I sped the video up here, but this was definitely was being a very deliberate process here. And then that led to actually one of my favorite parts, and that's putting this little brand on there. Really cool. I got this off of Brandon over there at Walker's Woodworks. Got an idea from him. Bought it from Gearhart Industries. Final product, I think it came out good. Customer was really happy. Asked them to send me a picture of it in context, which they did, which you'll see right here. As you can see, it came out really nice. So if you liked the video, thanks for tuning in. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like. I'll send more. And you can follow me here at these locations. So first time, so be nice in your comments. Appreciate you watching. Thanks.